Today I'm going to be talking to you about serial dating, what serial dating is, how you can find out if you're dating a serial dater, and if you have been a serial dater in the past or are currently a serial dater, how you can move on past that and find those lovely monogamous relationships that you so deserve. A couple of years ago, I embarked into the world of online dating. And I initially was a bit skeptical because I used to think that online dating was for creepers who kind of sit at home in their mum's basement and play video games a lot and really don't get out there. But as soon as I got onto the dating app of Bumble, I realized that there were an abundance of opportunities out there for me. And I was quite shocked. I didn't really anticipate myself getting any matches or really going on a lot of dates. But I went on a date, it went well. And then I went on another date, and then I went on another date, and then I went on another date. And the cycle continued. And if I was seeing someone, I would stop seeing them for some nonsensical, stupid, vain, or vapid reason, because I always knew that there was going to be a good option or a better option. And in essence, said goodbye to a lot of people that could have possibly been incredible for me, because I didn't necessarily see what was good for me at the time. This is what you call serial dating, when you go on an abundance of dates because you're trying to find the one, but you're not really paying attention to the people who are right in front of you because you're dating so much, therefore meaning that you're always going to have another option and you're not always going to be making the best informed decisions. Well, let's talk about serial dating and how you can break the cycle and eventually start dating someone monogamously. Now, if you want to be a player or playette, I don't even know if that's a thing, for the rest of your life, don't watch this video. But if you generally want to break the cycle of serial dating and only date one person, please follow on. So let's break it down a bit more. What is serial dating in its essence? Serial dating is when your head could be turned. And what I mean by that is that if you're with someone, but you see someone else who's significantly attractive, you're like, you know the meme, right, that I'm talking about, when your heads turn? That's serial dating, when who you're with doesn't really amount to much, so much so that you could see yourself and your head turning towards other people. You're convinced deep down that no matter who you're with, that you might settle and there's always going to be something better. If you have 2 or more dating apps, that means you are a serial dater. You always have a rotation of the opposite sex. And what I mean by a rotation of the opposite sex is that you have 3 or more people that you're talking to or dating or sleeping with. Weeks are filled with at least 2 to 5 dates within 1 week. You feel weird if your Snapchat or Instagram or any other kind of social media and text messages aren't blowing up with multiple admirers trying to seek your favor. When you're a serial dater, everyone's an option. You can't stand being lonely. You have to fill your weekend with someone. There are some serious and not spoken about damaging effects when it comes to serial dating that a lot of people are not talking about. I'm going to tell you what some of those are. When you have been serial dating for so long, it means you don't know a real connection when it's in front of you, because you have developed routines and habits of developing these surface level connections that you don't really know a deep and inspiring, worthwhile connection when it's right in front of you. You're always looking for the easiest option of self-gratification that you can get, boom, in the moment, just like that. You can no longer pair bond. Now, what's pair bonding? Pair bonding is essentially when you have a sexually intimate moment that you can't deny how you feel. You look at that person's eyes and you feel like this might be the person for you. You feel a deep emotional connection. If you spend time serial dating and you're hooking up with so many people and desensitizes you from any real pair bonding, any kind of conflict or disagreement is your excuse to vanish, okay? Because you know that there are always an abundance of other people that you can go on dates with and they could potentially be your match. So conflict is your immediate way out. Ooh, they argued with me. You don't really know how to deal with real relationship issues, real situations that the average relationship has to deal with because it's commonplace and it's routine. And when you've been serial dating for so long, you've been dating for so long, when you're in a relationship, common misunderstandings or simple issues of conflict resolution you can't move past. You've been serial dating for so long, you eventually end up looking for perfection. not realizing that unfortunately you're not perfect and there's an abundance of things that you need to fix in order for you to be suitable for a healthy monogamous relationship. How do you know if you might be dating a serial dater? Well, there's a couple of things to look out for. A relationship expert by the name of Wendy Walsh had written a book called The 30-Day Love Detox. She says that serial daters are far more emotionally avoidant. So if you're ever on a second, third, maybe even fourth date, and you try to get a bit vulnerable and talk about your emotions, talk about what you're really looking for, the desires that are deep down within your heart, if they are kind of avoidant and they give you 1 to 2 worded answers, or they really don't want to talk about it, and you can tell by their body language that they're off, this is a person who might possibly be a serial dater. Serial daters will often try to have sex on the first date. Now, you know me, I say follow your heart. If you're feeling in the mood, you're feeling in the mood. However, I typically tell people just avoid any real physical intimacy on a first date. Sure, you can kiss, but just avoid sex on the first date, because serial daters, they love sex on the first date. That's why they're serial dating, to smash, okay? Avoid it, avoid them. They vanish. Meaning you could be texting them and for 3 days you don't even hear from them, and then they hit you up and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I just saw this, or oh, I'm so sorry, like I've been so busy with work. Look, I'll say this time and time again until I'm blue in the face, okay? The average American looks at their phone 44 times a day. Whenever I go to the gym at 6 a.m. in the mornings, men and women are all on their phones as they're waiting to get in their reps, as they're taking a breather from their sets, they're all on their phones. No one's that busy that they could vanish for a few days. That person is a serial dater, and you are one of many. If you ask them about their previous relationships and they've always been the one to end it, you're dealing with a serial dater, because they're always looking for something better. If they have been single for the past 5 years or more and they haven't had a single relationship, especially if they're attractive. You mean to tell me this attractive man or woman has spent 5 years and they couldn't find one relationship? Huge red flag, okay? This person is not for real. They are a serial dater. Run like the wind. If you have been dating them for 3 months plus and there isn't a single talk about your future, this person is a serial dater. What's the solution to all of this? The solution goes down to a few simple steps. Number 1, learn to be content with being single. I know it's a cliche, and quite frankly, I hate it in itself. But at the same time, it's a cliche for a reason. It's something that you have to do if you truly want to be happy with someone. You have to be happy being single first. Let yourself up. Work on some things that you've always wanted to work on. Find yourself some hobbies, but be single for a couple of months just to figure out exactly what you want and exactly what you can give. Look for someone who has a friends group that's 50-50 settling down. For example, if you go on a date with someone where all their friends are single and all their friends are partying, to umpteenth hours of the night, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I very much doubt they'd be looking to settle down, versus if you go on a date with someone where some friends are married, some friends are in healthy monogamous relationships, years plus, and some people are single. That's a good look. Look for a person whose parents are still together in a nice, healthy, monogamous marriage, or at least someone who has a really good, healthy relationship with their parents, married or not. That they speak to their parents at least once or twice a week. Family relations are everything. Never ever say the phrase, I'm looking to settle down, okay? Because when you're in a relationship, you're not settling for anything. When you're in a relationship, it doesn't mean you just sit down and say, okay, I've won, I'm out of the woods from singledom. It means you're starting a whole new life with someone. In fact, when you are looking to be in a relationship, it's the opposite of settling down, because you two are about to experience life in a completely different way than you ever have before. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you generally feel like you liked what you watched and I deserve a follow or subscribe, feel free to do so. I'd love to have you. In 2021, we're going to go out of our ways to start developing and building happy, vulnerable, honest, and emotionally direct relationships that give us the biggest fulfillment. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.